guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my May 2023 book haul. So I bought a few too many books. So I always buy more books in May than I plan to. I always think, oh, I'm going to be good. No, I'm not. It's my birthday month, and I got sick this month as well. So I did buy a few things that probably wouldn't have bought. And I also bought a few things in April that were from Book Depository before they closed. So those all came in early May. So it just kind of, there's just too many books. And then there's some of these things I bought that I probably will not read for a really long time, but for some reason I bought them. So I don't know. And then I bought books that are in series, that some I've started, some I just started, but I want the rest of the books now because I want to read them. So I have quite a lot of books to talk about. So we're just going to go through this. The first one was a lovely gift from Tia and All the Books for my birthday. Our birthdays are both in May, so I sent her a couple books and she sent me this, A Stitch in Time by Kelly Armstrong. So I have read quite a few things by her, but this is her, I think she used to go to this this Thorn Manor when she was a kid, and I think she met a boy her age, William, and then I think 20 years later she goes back and she finds out there's this time, I think, issue, and I think I don't know if she goes back in time or something happens with time in this manor. So I'm curious to see what happens with this. Thanks to Tia for that book. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so that was I just did that as the beginning part. Okay, so the first ones are my contemporary-ish books into older stuff. So I don't know, I was in a really weird mood, and I think it just happened. I picked up Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I don't know why this contemporary called to me, but it had to do with a woman named Annie who runs a flower shop, and she lives in a small town, so she doesn't date very well. She doesn't come off very well with her dates, and they think she's boring. And a guy that is a bodyguard for her brothers, I don't know if she's a movie star, some kind of celebrity. Her brother's going to marry this celebrity, and the bodyguard is somebody that she met last. I don't know if there's a book comes before this, but anyway, so she's always liked him, but hasn't. I think he doesn't want to, be near a small town, but he's stuck there now for this, the lead up to the wedding, I think. And so then they kind of meet. And I read the first couple chapters to try it, to see if I liked it, and I did enjoy the writing style, and I liked Allie, the main character, and I don't know why I picked it up. Again, as you know, I'm not very good on contemporary romances, which I'll show in the next two, is because I like them for a little bit and then I have to set them down. So I did buy the two other Allie Hazelwood books. I'm in the middle of The Love Hypothesis and have been for months, but every time I pick it up, I really enjoy it. And but I can only read it for so long, and then I have to put it down. Just so much I can take. So I figure I'll do the same thing with these. It'll be like an ongoing contemporary romance I have kind of in the background. Love on the Brain was her second book about two people who I think they work with, I don't know if they work at NASA or with something, and she thinks he hates her or something. I don't know. It just looks cute. And then I got the 3 novellas in Loathe to Love You. The novellas are Under One Roof, Stuck with You, and Below Zero. And I heard somebody talking about what each ones of these are like, and I'm like, okay, these ones are short, and I could probably read maybe one at a time and then get through it. But we'll see. So I don't know. Those are kind of ones I took a kind of leap of faith on, because I'm like, I just said, I'm still reading The Love Hypothesis. I just haven't finished it yet. So another one is this is more on the darker romance side, is Dark Succession by Katie Roberts. So again, it's Katie Roberts, so I picked this up. This is a reissue of her O'Malley series, which I have not read, and I just never got around to it. I think it was I can't remember what the original name was, but or maybe, I don't know, some of them got their names changed. I can't remember if this one was one of them. Anyway, I think it's a mafia romance. And so I just, as I said, I like a lot of her her ones that have mafia-ish kind of things that are kind of, you know, a little on twisted fairy tales and stuff. And I know this one isn't one of those, but I thought since I liked her other stuff, I would try this one. So I picked up the first book of that. And then a few, as I said, a little older titles. I'm not sure what year. 1988. So the Millhouse Murders by Yukito Ayasuji. This is translated by Ho-Ling Wang. So this is the second book in the House Murders that is written by this author. The first book was the Decagon House Murders, which I read with Berna's Bookish Adventures, and we're going to read this one actually this week. Actually, as you guys see this, we'll be in the middle of it, so I'm really excited to get to this one. There's just one character that kind of crosses over, I think, into some of these books. So this is a locked room mystery, and that's about all I know about it. It looks like there was, you know, somebody was locked in or stayed in their house because of an accident, and then something happens there. I don't know. It just, as I said, there's a fun, the other one, the Japanese mystery was, the mystery was based off of, and then there were none. So it was kind of interesting to see his, the twist on that, on how he did that. I thought it was really good. I don't think it was the best thing, but I still really enjoyed it. So we wanted to continue on. So we will be reading this. So this one just came out at the beginning of May. So I had that on pre-order. From Book Depository, I got a couple of books that I had been on my wish list for years. One of them was The Pied Piper by Neville Shute. So I read On the Beach, which was just fantastic. Anyway, I mean, fantastic in the way it's devastating. And then I've read A Town Like Alice, or Town Called Alice. Whatever that one was, A Town Like Alice. So I've read a couple of his books. I have a couple more on my shelf. The Pied Piper is one that I wanted to get. This has to do with an older man, I think, who gets put in charge of some kids during World War II, and he's trying to get them to safety. I think that's what it is. I've heard good things about this one, so I've always wanted to get it. So I got it due to, because it was, as I said, I bought a few things from Book Depository. The other ones I bought were by Dorothy McArdle. So I have the first book of hers on my shelf, The Uninvited, and I meant to read it in May, and it just never happened. So I'm hoping to get to it. But I bought Dark Enchantment and The Unforeseen. So these are part of this Recovered Voices series, and so I decided they were the same author, but they're all kind of spooky. This one has to do with witches, and then this one, I'm not sure what this one's about. It's hard to read all these, but I do want to get to them. The other one's also kind of gothic-like, so I'm gonna see what they're like. This one I took a chance on buying these, but I wanted these copies if I liked that author. So anyway, these are kind of like ones maybe I shouldn't have bought, but because Book Depository was going away, I did. Then I have a couple of urban fantasies. Is Grin and Bear It by Juliette Ross. This one I have read. I got the ebook when it first came out in the middle of May, and I read it right away, and then the paperback was released like a week later. So this is the 6th and final book in the Savoy Sisters, or the Stay a Spell series, and I really enjoyed this urban fantasy paranormal romance series. Sorry, my brain is just not thinking. So this one is, I said, the last one in that series. She's hopefully going to write more in the world, but, you know, with different characters and stuff. And I really enjoyed the sisters and the differences between their books and the different creatures and things. Again, it's paranormal, so there's vampires and werewolves and other things, you know. So, and then things called Grimms. And I really love this. Henry is one of my favorites. I maybe didn't like some of the things going into the end of this, but I mean, so a trope that was huge at the end of this one. But overall, I really liked this book, and I really love the series overall. I'm looking forward to my reread, which will probably be in a couple of years, because I read a lot. I read most of those last year, and then this is the last one. So I'm really excited that I got a copy of that, because I will be returning to that series because I enjoyed it, and I'll be watching to see what she writes more of. I did pre-order Spring's Arcana, the first book in the Dead God's Heart duology by Lilith St. Croix. I just finished the Dante Valentine series by her, and I've read other books by her, but this one is her newest one, and it's a duology with the second book coming out in August, so I thought I'd better get this. I didn't mean to get a hard copy. I told the bookseller when she pre-ordered it that I wanted the paperback, but oh well. Anyway, more money to the author. Anyway, so this one is about Nat, and she makes some kind of deal, and I think she has to go on some kind of road trip after she makes a deal, something to save her mom. And I'm not sure beyond that. I know there's something about deities and other things, and a winter goddess. So I'm really excited to pick this one up soon so that I could read this and decide if I want to get the second book so I can complete the duology this year. So another series by her, which brings me to the Jill Kismet series by Lilith St. Croix. So I bought these off of eBay, the whole series, which were in really pretty good condition considering what I paid for them. So I'm going to take a drink of water here in a sec, or a drink of soda, or coffee. So all I know about this one is that she's a spiritual exterminator, dealer in dark things, and a demon slayer. So I'm not sure how, I don't think this is connected at all to the Dante Valentine series, so I'm not sure how this world will be, but I'm really curious to continue on. As I said, the Dante Valentine series was a series that I thought was really interesting. It went in directions I never expected. I didn't know how it was going to end, or, well, I mean, yeah, I didn't know how the journey was going to go. I kind of guessed where the end would be, which made logical sense, but everything up to there, no idea. So I'm hoping that I enjoy this. It is a 6-book series, so we will see how that goes. I think they're all about the same size, so, I'll just, at some point, I'll start this series and start reading all those books. Okay, so then I have a couple of sci-fi books. I did pick up, because of Star Wars Day, Star Wars Thrawn by Anthony Zahn. I read the expanded universe, or, the Star Wars books back in the day. Like the Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. And yeah, and some of the other ones past that was in that old universe. And again, I read a lot of that was a lot in the 90s, so I read a lot of those. I haven't picked up a Star Wars book in years. I do have, I don't know where you can't see it because I have some books in front of it. But I have one of the past timeline, or one of the newer books that my brother bought by accident. He thought it was going to be a graphic novel, and so I have that. I think it's the Light of the Force, Light of the Jedi, something like that. It's one of those first ones that came out in the reimagined universe for Star Wars. So anyway, but Thrawn is one of the ones I wanted to read because, again, Thrawn was one of my favorite characters from the first trilogy that came out, that Timothy Zahn did. And he's one of my, I would say, one of the most ematic villains that I ever liked, because he just, he made sense. Like, it was just, I'm really excited to start to read another book by him. So I think I got the right book. I hope so. I think this is the first one for the Thrawn series in the new era. So we'll see. I will. I want to try that at some point. I picked up The Spare Man by Mary Robinette Kowal. So I've been meaning to pick this one up. This one is a mystery. I think it's a woman who's an inventor, and she's on her honeymoon with her husband, and then somebody gets murdered, and I think her husband gets pointed. It's pointed at him, and then she has some disability rep and stuff in here, but in space. So it just sounded like a murder mystery in space. So that is why I got that one. This one, it was one of those things I bought around my birthday that I might have been because I was sick. I'm not sure. But it's called You Sexy Thing by Kate Rambo. So this one is, as I said, space one, where I think they were retired, but then they have to go, like, her crew is forced to go back, and has something to do with sentient AI, I think, or a sentient ship. I don't know. I don't know why I bought this. But it's been on my wish list for a really long time. So I put it on there for some reason. I'm pretty sure it's because it was like one of those ones where people are older in, being out in space, and then something happens and they have to, go save the day or something. Anyway, so if you guys have read that, let me know. I did buy one manga. I don't buy much manga anymore these days. I used to buy a lot. I have tons upstairs in my bedroom that I bought in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then I kind of got away from it. There's only a few series that I picked up in between that time. And most of the stuff I've gotten through the library, and so I don't keep it or anything. But this one I can't get from my library. Sorry, Cooper grabbed some paper. I don't know where he's going with it. Anyway, is the Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World it's based on novels, so I didn't even know that, by Hayuka Izumi. This story is by Oyemiya and art by Reiko Sakurada. So anyway, I don't know. It just looks really cute. And it has to do with a woman who is older, and she is said to, it was a 30-something office worker who's told that she's supposed to save somebody or do something, or God comes to say, hey, you have to save this other world. And she's like, I'm too old for that. And I think she decides to go to do something different. I think she opens a cafe in world. I don't know. It's only a 5-book, I think, series, so it might be one that if I enjoy this one, I'll keep it. If not, I'll sell it. I've heard I saw other people mention it, and I just thought it was cute, and my library did not have it, so I picked it up with credit at Pals. And then the last of the books that I got at where was I at? Oh, this is Book Depository. The last things I ordered was, I did get What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I have read this and really enjoyed it. There's a second book coming out, I think later this year or next year. I can't remember. Some kind of a sequel of some sort. So this is a retelling of the Fall of the House of Usher. And I really enjoyed this one. So I just wanted a copy of it. It's probably the only, most of them I get from the library. So I don't usually buy her books anymore. I mean, because I bought one and then I sold it. But I like that one because I want to reread that before the second book comes out. But I also got Nettle and Bone because it was pretty cheap by T. Kingfisher. And everybody talked about this last year. And I tried it from the library one day. And I didn't get into it. I was just finding her kind of a little whiny in the beginning. I don't know. And maybe that was just mean to me, but I didn't get very far. Like, I'm talking like the first chapter or two. It was not very far. I didn't give it really a good chance. So I wanted to try it again. And since I was buying T. Kingfisher, I bought that one too. And then I also got Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. So it is a hardback, which again, I don't buy very often. But it's just pretty. Anyway, so this one is about this is about a woman who I think she studies fairies. She's a meticulous researcher, and I think she goes to some town where she's trying to learn more, and I don't know if she runs into an academic rival. And while she's looking for stuff, something goes on. I don't know. But I've heard good things about it, and I wanted to try it, and it was a really good price on Book Depository. And that's the last thing I got from Book Depository. I miss that site already. And then I did get a couple books at Pals with some credit when I took back some books a couple weeks ago. Or last week. I guess it was just last week. Or, yeah, a little over a week ago, whatever. I did pick up Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, which is book 3 in the Greenbone Saga. I have not completed the first book. I've read the first 20 pages. So that was kind of preempted myself to get it. But I had a coupon and a credit. So I had $5 off plus the coupon. So I just bought it. I don't know why. But anyway, I'm not going to say much about this because I don't know. Jade City is the one that I'm going to hopefully read in June. So I'll know more about that later, but I have the whole trilogy now, so hopefully I'll read that this year. That's my goal. And then I picked up Rise of the Mages by Scott Drakeford. This is the first book in an Age of Air. I-R-E? Air? Anyway, so this one has to do with, I think, he wants to be a weapons master, and I think he goes on some quest to save his brother. And I'm sure it doesn't go the way he thought it was. It's the first book in this series. I think this is a debut author too. And they had a remand copy, so it was cheaper, and then again I had credit, so I just bought it, even though I wouldn't have bought the hardback, but it was cheaper. The paperback was the full price, and then this was way cheaper, so I just bought it that way. And then so going now, that was more fantasy. Now we're going more romance, or fantasy romance. Sorry, my brain. We're getting there. I did buy Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So I got the pretty first printing copy with the dragons on it. Yes, I definitely bought this at the tail end of my sickness. I think I jumped on the hype train, even though I read part of the first chapter on, to try it on Amazon, and I liked it well enough. I just don't know if I should have bought it, but I just couldn't not buy it because I wanted the pretty dragons. I don't have very many special edition books or stuff with any sprayed edges whatsoever. I think this is actually my first one. Yeah, I don't think I have anything. I mean, if I do, I don't remember it right now. So this is a fantasy romance, and we're following I don't know what her name is, Violet, and her whole life was going to be a scribe like her father, and at the last minute her mother tells her, no, you have to go to the Dragon Rider Academy instead, and it is one of those places where if you do not make it, you die. And so she has her own, there's things about her physically that are different, and it said she's been trained differently, so she's kind of behind and smaller than a lot of the other ones, but it's, I think, her building relationships and trying to make it through this academy. And I'm hoping to get to the dragons. So it just sounds really good. I know there's a strong romance in here. I'm not sure much beyond that. Just a lot of people like it. And I know that, as I said, a lot of people have liked this book. I'm just afraid with the hype because I just don't know. But I bought it because I was feeling sick. So I'm going to blame that on that. And then so the last books here are from two series that I just started at the end of May. One of them, this one I read during the 72 Hours in the Sput Den. I read the first book, which was Rhapsodic. But I got the rest of the series for the Bargainer series by Laura Thalassa. So I got A Strange Hymn, The Emperor of Evening Stars, and Dark Harmony. So I read Rhapsodic that weekend and I loved it. I was so surprised at how much I enjoyed that book and the surprises I had near the end. So I definitely went out the next day and bought the rest of the series. I just haven't been able to get to it yet because, again, I was in the middle of so many books right before that. And then, again, my mom was here this weekend. I was going to pick up Strange Hymn really quickly, but I haven't got to. So I'm hoping in the next couple weeks I'll pick it up and probably get through this series pretty fast. Again, the first book was really, really good. And the only problem is, again, my copy is from the self-published copy, the first one, but that's fine. I'm gonna get these. I'll just read these other ones and get them. So I'm hoping to get to that. That is a series where was it Callie, I guess is her name, and she is a siren, and so she has all these bad things in her past, and she met the Bargainer when she was a teenager, and this the first book, the Rhapsodic, kind of does a back and forth between when she was younger and he first met her to how many years? It was like, I think she's in her mid. Wait, how old was she? Oh, now I've lost it. How old she was? It was like 7 or 8 years. He's gone. She never sees him, and then suddenly he pops back up, and then things start changing in her life because of that. So we get a back and forth of the old relationship that they had, and then the new one of when you know, they're both, she's an adult and stuff. So it's a very interesting combination of that, and then all this stuff that's going on and there's some mystery going on. Again, it went another one that went in a really interesting direction near the end that I didn't expect. So I'm really excited to see where it goes from where that ended and goes on. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the last ones are the next books in the Crown Nyaxia, I think is how it said. I got 6 Scorched Roses, which is just a novella. It's like 1.5 in, I think the Nightborn duology, or duet. Sorry. So this is, I did read this one already. I really enjoyed this. It has two characters that we meet that live in a different part of the world. And I think they're going to be in the second book of that duology, which is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. So again, these are all by Carissa Broadbent. And the first book was The Serpent and then Wings of Night, which I bought back a couple months ago and finally got to it here at the end of May, or I did it at the end of May, but then I bought all the books and they all showed up kind of around the end of May. So I'm just putting them all here. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. This one, again, I said I just read this one a couple of days ago, so I probably were going to read this one fairly soon. It is a chunker at 600 pages, but I'm looking forward to this because I want to see what happens after what happened in the other book. And again, this is a fantasy romance. The Serpent and the Wings of Night is a competition that is put on only every once in a while, and it's mostly the vampires who go into this looking to get a wish granted by their goddess, Nyaxia. And Aurea is, I think that's her, I don't know how you say her name. Anyway, she is human, been brought up by the leader of the vampires for the Nightborn vampires, and she competes so that she can maybe become a vampire or of some sort. So that book was really fun and twisted. It had all the action I loved because it was I'm not big on competitions in games, but it really worked because there were certain there were 6 trials that it went through, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm really looking forward to, because this is the aftermath of all that happened in that book. So that'll be interesting. And then I also got Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. So this is, I think this is somehow connected to that world, but I'm not sure how. But I got it anyway. So I do want to also get her other book, The Daughter of No Worlds, series, whatever that series is called. I will probably get that pretty soon after I finish these, but I'm going to try to get through these 2 last ones. As I said, I've already read that one. So those are all the books I got in May, which again was 33 bucks. I spent way too much money. Now, I do get to take off a little bit of that because part of that was my brother's birthday money to me. So, but not really enough. I still bought way too much. I think part of the reason, as I said, I got into a couple of series near the end of the month that I just bought that were already had books out. So I bought those. And then I bought the whole, Jill Kismet, series because I want to read that here probably in the fall, as I'm hoping for. We'll see what happens. Because I just want to read more Little St. Crow. I bought a lot of stuff that I didn't really need, like some of those contemporary romances. Yeah, I think I was just, and the Fourth Wing, I was probably a little still ill when I bought those. So I was weak-minded. Anyway, I don't know. But we'll see. I think they'll all be interesting. I just have to space out and when I'm going to read them. I think I bought kind of all over the board in May. So did you guys get anything good in May? Have you anything that you like me just go, why did I buy that right now? I don't know, but I have it now on my shelf. So let me know if there's any of these books you think I should read sooner rather than later. Since I have so many books, I need some guidance. Try to tell my mood that's what I need to read. Let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.